Civic and Swede Knox. The first of 4 meetings between these teams that went 6 games in the opening round of the playoffs last year, with the Colorado Avalanche emerging and eventually going on to the Final Four. Here's a chance for Ron Stern down the left side. He's cross-checked to the ice by John Clem. There's going to be a penalty to Colorado. Sharks get Mike Vernon out of the net for an extra skater. And now Mike Ricci behind the goal. Centers it up the middle. Gary Suter taking his time to Stewart with a blast. Diving down to block it is Bodine. Suter another shot. Block. Another shot. And that one very close to that far post side. And it's touched up, and we'll get the power play coming up for the Sharks.
Well, excellent pressure to start this game by the San Jose Sharks, and they took advantage of the delayed call. As you mentioned, Randy, they pulled their goaltender, got the extra man out there, and had a couple of good shots.
Let's check our Southwest Airlines starters in goal. Mike Vernon. And his record on the year, 4-5-1, a 2.64 goals against average. A very good career record wins-wise against Colorado. And Patrick Roy, 34 years of age. And look at his career numbers against the Sharks. 10-3-1, a 1.66 goals against average. No team has had more trouble with Patrick Roy in his career than the Sharks. He's the #1 netminder versus San Jose.
Well, one of the best netminders of this decade. Good size, a little over 6 feet tall, and takes away most of the bottom of that net when he goes into the butterfly.
So the Sharks on the power play now for the first time tonight here inside the first minute of play. Brad Stewart on the right point, trying to force a pass through. It's blocked by Dave Reed, and he'll carry it back behind the San Jose blue line.
Well, that's 3 attempted shots now from the point by the Sharks that have been blocked by the Colorado Avalanche.
DeVries fires one in shorthanded from the left point, high and wide, and the Sharks will regain control behind their net. John Clem off the tripping at 42 seconds here to start the game. Now Nolan to the net. He got a piece of that, was shoved down to the ice, and Patrick Roy was able to steer it off to the side.
Well, a quick whistle from the referee. He thought Patrick Roy was getting ready to scoop that up and hold it in his glove. He decided to play it instead. The whistle had gone. Owen Nolan, and this is a bit of a theme here early in the game by the San Jose Sharks, going to the net hard here on the power play. You see Owen Nolan bowling his way through, looking for a rebound. It wasn't there. Good eye-hand coordination from Owen Nolan. Used the feet, too, to kick that puck forward and keep it alive.
Off the draw, it comes right between the defense. Suter hustling back as he gets pressured from Ralston. Now Jeff Friesen trying to headman it for Owen Nolan. It deflects over to Damphus instead. Want to make a correction on the referees. It was incorrectly forwarded to us on the game notes. The referees are actually tonight that man, number 24, Stephen Wacom, and number 15, Dan O'Halloran. Linesmen are Civic and Knox, and we're not sure where the other guys are, but I guess it doesn't matter. There's Sweet Knox.
Well, 2 referees in the game tonight. The Sharks will see that 50 times throughout this season. Almost 2/3 of their games.
I was wondering about the officials, because they were the same 2 that worked Monday night here against Tampa, and that usually doesn't happen, and it didn't. Still a minute left to go on the Sharks power play, but they've yet to get it established. Roy slowing it down behind the net, and it's fired around and all the way down the ice again by Colorado. The Avalanche have been a very good penalty-killing team all year. In fact, 15 times in their games, they have held the opponent without a power play goal as they force the Sharks to go offside. Gary Suter trying to bring it in by himself.
When you talk about the strength of the penalty killing, talking about Colorado, they're 95% at home. They've only allowed 2 goals on 40 attempts. Just an unbelievable number at home. On the road, it drops off a little bit, just 78%. Which is 22nd on the road. And there's Bob Hartley, head coach for the Colorado Avalanche. A real taskmaster here since he joined the team, coming up from Hershey. See his record this year, just a little over 500.
Fired in by the rookie Skula off the draw. Sharks with half a minute to work with now. They went 0 for 8 on the power play here against Tampa on Monday night. Had some great chances, but just couldn't score. And they'll have trouble again here now as it's shot the length of the ice by Stefan Yell. And maybe chance for one more rush here with the man advantage. Marcus Ragnarsson leading things off. Comes to center, fires it in, glove down by Patrick. And Mr. Waugh sends it ahead. And now a possible 2-on-1. But they slow it down, the Avalanche do. John Clem setting to come out of the penalty box as the shot came from the angle on Mike Vernon and glanced off his glove. Adam Foote getting good wood on that one. Now Forsberg spinning around off Patrick Marleau. Upended. And Nicholas Sundstrom gets it back for the Sharks.
That last scoring opportunity from Colorado, something to do very well is look for their defenseman late. They'll buy time deep, the forwards will. Looking up for the defenseman. That time it was Adam Foote sneaking in from the blue line.
Stefan Matteau takes it away from Forsberg. Here's Bob Rouse with a shot. That hit a skate off to the side, but the Sharks get it back again. Reaching front of the net, steered aside by Waugh. Now Jeff Norton cutting in down the left wing, runs into traffic in the corner, and it'll be pushed up the side to Peter Forsberg. Forsberg has only played a handful of games all year. Gets a good shot away. Mike Vernon covering it up. Afternoon, and is the scratch on defense. A shot from the blue line by DeVries block. Now a broken stick. It's Stefan Matteau. Had it snap off right at the blade. Back comes Drury for the Avalanche. And last season's Rookie of the Year just blew it by wide. Waugh trying to send it around, gave it away to Matteau. Patrick with Stefan rather, with a new stick back there, trying to make a play, but it's cleared back to center. Just over 4 minutes gone here in the first period. No score. At center, Rouse trying to move Stefan Yell off the puck. Now DeVries comes back to center ice for Reed. Vernon gathers that in, plays it to the corner, but Yell is there. He was unable to get hold of it, though, as Brant Myers tries to make a play at center. Here's Stefan Yell working against Bob Rouse. Good defense by Rouse on the play, and the Sharks force it back into the Av zone.
Well, excellent back checking, too, by that fourth line. Both Brant Myers and Andy Sutton, who's playing as a left winger, both got back when they saw the transition happening in the neutral ice area.
Here's Ron Sutter on a 3-game point streak with a goal and 2 assists in his last 3 outings. Big hit by Andy Sutton, laid on the near wing by Chris Dingman. Now here's a chance for Jeff Odgers, and he fans on the wrist shot. Now Forsberg tied up by Brad Stewart. Forsberg scoots away, falls, gets up. Forsberg up the middle. Forsberg skating in. Forsberg shot, and Vernon covers up as Peter Forsberg ends up in the net. Now Andy Sutton gets a hold of Jeff Odgers, who went after Brad Stewart, probably for what Stewart gave Forsberg in the corner.
Well, Brad Stewart played Peter Forsberg very well that whole shift. Earlier, one-on-one, just outside his own blue line, took Forsberg hard into the boards. A little later, Forsberg slipped away from the rookie, but it was good coverage. A possible switch by the Sharks defenseman. Forsberg eluded the second check, ended up getting a pretty good scoring opportunity from in close, just failed to pull the trigger. There was Andy Sutton coming down to make him pay the price. Here you see Forsberg working over Brad Stewart. You see him get away here with the pick. Gary Suter trying to cover up for Brad Stewart. He kind of gets picked in some traffic, and an opportunity for Forsberg in close. Just gets a little too close to goaltender Mike Vernon, covers it up, and you see Andy Sutton coming to the aid of Brad Stewart, making sure that Jeff Odgers doesn't take advantage of the rookie.
No penalties on the play as Forsberg heads back over to the Colorado bench. Well, what a player. Some think the best in the NHL, a 4-time All-Star, a Cup winner in '96 with this club, and the 4th leading scorer in the NHL over the last 5 years, coming up on 400 points over that span. Hasn't won a Hart Trophy yet as MVP, but you kind of get the feeling it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, he may be getting close. He's one of the most complete hockey players in the game today. He hits, he's smart, he controls the puck. The one knock, I guess, against Forsberg is he doesn't have a real hard shot.
Fired to center ice. Now Tony Granato sends it ahead to Marleau. But he's got 2 men to beat, and he couldn't get around Skula that time. Now back comes John Clem for the Avalanche. Stefan Yell, however, caught offside, tried to sneak his skate back to the blue line, but didn't get there in time.
Well, Clem, the big defenseman, 6'3", 200 pounds, played his junior hockey in Spokane. In fact, won a Memorial Cup there and went on to win a Stanley Cup in '96 with these Colorado Avalanche. Boy, has this Avalanche D ever been decimated by injuries through this year? You know, I think the Sharks have had it bad. At one point during this year, 5 of the 6 regular defensemen out of the lineup for Bob Hartley and his Colorado Avalanche. But they adjusted, they got through it. But a lot of games on the road, not quite as many as the Sharks, but a good number. They've come out just a game over 500.
It's always been my contention that they shouldn't vote on Coach of the Year until the playoffs are over, because that is the most important part of the year. And if you took the playoffs into consideration, Bob Hartley, I think, would have got a lot more votes than he did. Here's a chance for Dave Reed down the left side. Owen Nolan gets in the way of that. Now Nolan skating it out of his own zone to the blue line, throws it across to Danfus. Now Vinny Danfus crisscrossing with Jeff Friesen at center ice, and a hip check thrown at the blue line on Owen Nolan by Adam Deadmarsh, and Deadmarsh is going to go.
Well, there's an interference call on the play, and I'm not too sure whether it's Deadmarsh or Owen Nolan. Owen Nolan was moving. Adam Deadmarsh had put the brakes on. Nolan ended up skating right into Deadmarsh, knocked him down. And Owen Nolan not real happy with the play. You see Nolan trying to stay on side from the reverse angle. Vinny Danfus carrying the puck, and you see Nolan come into the screen right here. And he makes contact with Adam Deadmarsh.
Boy, it's Nolan getting the penalty. And a tough call there for the Sharks as they were on the attack. Awfully rare you see that. It almost seems accidental the way it came down.
Well, it's kind of a set play, and in the NHL you can try to pick guys but not go out of your way to pick guys. And I think one of the referees felt that Owen Nolan could possibly have tried to sidestep. Well, actually from that angle, if he sidestepped, then he would have put himself offside. So really tough call to make right at the blue line.
So Colorado on the power play, and this should be no shock based on their personnel. They have the best power play in the NHL. It is hot right now.
The surprising thing is, #1 without Forsberg and Sakic over a pretty good portion of this year.
They've had 3 games already where they've scored 3 power play goals in a game. Over the last 18, they're clicking at 34%. And this guy's a big reason why. Sandis Ozolin's coming off his first career hat trick in the NHL last Monday night against Vancouver. And he's forced all the way back into his own end. Mike Ricci trying to catch him. Mike loses his edge behind the net, and here comes Ozolin. Look at him go end to end. Stops up. The pass. Now it comes to Deadmarsh back in front. Here's Ozolin setting for the shot, and it's high. Deadmarsh waiting for it on the boards, taken away by Norton. Now Sundstrom getting it back to Jeff Norton. He fires a shot right on goal, and Patrick Waugh forced to make the save. Now Forsberg over the line. Still 44 to go in the man advantage. He gets it back to Reed at the blue line. Now here's Ozolin. The pass in off the side of the stick. And the Sharks will get it back out to center ice. A pass intended for Danfus goes astray. Here's Alex Tanguay, another one of their outstanding young players. Drew Reed to the pinching Dave Reed. He couldn't control it cleanly. Brings it all the way back to the blue line. And he gives it away to Vinny Danfus.
Excellent pressure by the penalty killers so far. They forced Colorado to turn the puck over a couple of times just inside the blue line.
Ozolinch ahead to Reed. Here's Ralston. Fires a shot into Marcus Ragnarsson. Now Tanguay back to Skula. Skula sending it over right side for Adam Foote. He's checked by Marleau. Drop pass for Ralston. Ralston trying to get it back to the blue line or to the point. Owen Nolan coming out of the box. Gets it to Marleau. Sharks have killed off the Colorado penalty. Here's Patrick Marleau weaving his way through traffic. Tripped up. Back comes Tanguay for Colorado. He gives it away. And it's fired down the ice by the Sharks.
Well, excellent speed to this game so far. Obviously, a lot of guys who can skate, very talented. There's been excellent flow.
Now Mateau out of the corner to Stern, and it was there. Handcuffed a little by the pass. It was slightly behind him, and it goes all the way down to Mike Vernon. Vernon to center for Marleau. That looked to be offside, but they let it go. Now here's Stern. From the bad angle, gets it on target. Routine stop for Waugh. Ron Stern following his own rebound to the near boards. Sidesteps a big hit from Dingman. Now Rouse at the blue line holds it in. Dingman gets it back. Gave it away momentarily. Now Mateau trying to wrestle it away from Eric Messier, but it's cleared out by the Avs.
Well, Ron Stern has had a couple of strong shifts. First to start this game, and then again close in on Patrick Waugh, creating some havoc in the corners.
10:55 left here in the first period. No score. The Sharks are out shooting Colorado right now, 6-3. Here's Ricci. Ahead for Granato. Waugh will get a hold of that. Sweep it around to the near board side. Tanguay hacks it back down into the Sharks' end. Not many whistles in this one. As you mentioned already, Steve, good flow to this game so far.
And both goaltenders, too, not afraid to play the puck. Patrick Waugh likes to come out, sometimes gets himself into trouble playing the puck, but he isn't shy to come out, play it up to his forwards and defense.
Vernon comes out, leaves that one for Rathje. Neat pass by Ragnarsson up the middle. Now he leads the rush up to Jeff Friesen. Friesen a shot on goal. And a nice save by Patrick Waugh. Now back the other way comes Deadmarsh. He'll fire it from center, blocked by Stewart. And Nolan with it again for the Sharks. Nolan with 2 goals and an assist against Tampa Bay here on Monday night. He single-handedly brought the Sharks back when they were down 3-1. Took control of the game. Here he is now, wrestled down to the ice by Stefan Yell. Danfus gets the puck back, looks for Nolan, leaves it on the boards for Suter. Suter fires it in front over the head of Nolan, and it's picked up again by Bodine for the Avalanche. A lead pass, bounces at the blue line. Reed a shot, and Vernon with his first big stop of the night as he got the right pad on it and into the corner. Now Yell behind the net, but he's checked hard by Brad Stewart, and Brad Stewart having a very physical first period on defense for the Sharks. Here's Ozelin with the steal at center, right in the middle of the line change, tries to get a wrist shot away, partially deflected and blocked away by Stefan Matteau.
Well, excellent scoring opportunity there for the Colorado Avalanche. A big shot after Gary, offensively, not afraid to play the body. Excellent in one-on-one situations.
You pointed out in our open, Steve, that his ice time is being reduced as the Sharks get healthier on defense, and I've got to think that can only help his game right now. Here's Norton now leading the power play for the Sharks as he comes all the way down the left side. Sends it around for Nicholas Sundstrom. Now back to Norton way down in the corner. Sundstrom gloves it down. Tries to feed the back of the net for Mike Ricci. Intercepted by DeVries. Ricci gets it back in front. Marleau with all kinds of traffic. Can't get a shot away. He's hauled down. Here's Stewart who falls but sweeps the puck ahead to Sundstrom. Fans calling for a penalty as Patrick Marleau was gang tackled in front of the net by 3 Avalanche defenders. Now here's Norton, spreads wide, gives for Stewart, the one-timer wide, but what a shot. Now clear to the blue line and out past Norton.
And again, an absolute rocket off the stick of Brad Stewart. Goaltender Patrick Waugh didn't see it.
Here he comes again as Stewart tried to center it for Ricci. Now Sundstrom tied up in the corner by Deadmarsh. DeVries sends it up the boards, but not out. Suter has to make a quick play, gets it away nicely to the left side. Stewart, and it's deflected by Marleau. Over to Nicholas Sundstrom now. Suter holds it at the line, fires it in. Ricci got the tip, but just not enough wood on it.
Well, that's exactly the play you want. An easy shot from the point, so it's an easy tip, and it was by Ricci just wide.
Here's Deadmarsh, a backhander. Mike Vernon stacks the pads as he had to lean back in toward the goal and make a nice stop. 25 to go on the power play. It's Nolan this time, trying to fight his way across the line. Ran into John Clem, and the Avs clear it down again.
Well, Colorado has only scored 1 short-handed goal. They almost got another one there off the stick of Adam Deadmarsh. Excellent speed to the outside, went on the backhand. Vernon squeezing the pads right at the last second.
Just a few seconds left on the power play. Jeff Friesen, nice pass to Danfus. Then he comes over the line, gets it back up the middle. Here's Suter to the side for Nolan right in front. Nobody there for the Sharks. Penalty's over. Here's Danfus with it to the far side. It hits Nolan after Clem deflected it. Now Friesen setting up behind the net. Danfus goes in front. Friesen looking and lost the puck back there, and Colorado will fire it all the way down, but Mike Vernon's going to have to play it.
Well, a tough situation for Jeff Friesen. He realized he had time. He wanted to hang on to the puck just a little longer. It got away from him. Stolen by Colorado.
So the Sharks 0 for 2 on their power play. And they'll control it back at center ice. Ron Sutter with it. Cross ice from a toe. That goes off the skate down into the Colorado zone. Patrick Waugh sends it right up the middle. Back to Ragnarsson and Rathje. Reunited now after Rathje missed 16 games due to injury, and Ragnarsson missed all his games early in the year. Here's Ozelins trying to go short side on Vernon. Missed the net. Sutter drags it out over the line. Drury sends it right back in as he takes a hit from Ron Stern. Been a very physical game so far.
It really has. Excellent speed, good hits, and already in this game, 12, I think that works 16 minutes in. Sandis Ozelins has been up the ice 4 times, leading attacks.
Here's Martin Skula from the Czech Republic, who played a couple of years of junior hockey in the OHL in Barrie, Ontario. So he's North American toughened. And now here's Rouse from the line, and he gets it right on target through a screen. Waugh had to make a difficult stop. A lot tougher than it looked speed-wise. Here's Granato trying to pull it off the board. Back at the line, held in. Here's Granato to the net. Shot, rebound, Ricci gets it on net. And then it's covered up by Waugh as 5 Colorado players swarm around the net. And Jeff Odgers is throwing cross-checks out there at anybody in teal. Of Jeff Odgers. Odgers didn't join Colorado until well after that. So as you said, Steve, no penalties on that last sequence. Looks like a lot of stick work going on, but none called as Owen Nolan brings it off the boards for the Sharks. Out of the pack, it comes right up the middle for Dave Reed. And Reed will just backhand it into the Shark zone. Vernon comes out to play it. Nice job as he fires it off the board. Now Bob Rouse behind the net, lost sight of the puck after it hit him. John Podine moves to it, but Norton gets to him just ahead of it. Now Yell stabbing at it, back to Podine. Podine centers it. It comes off the outside of the goal post.
Here at the Shark Tank.
Mike Rathje trying to get it out of his zone up the boards. Now they'll go the other way and give it to Nolan at center. Nolan tied for the NHL goal-scoring lead at 20 with Pittsburgh's Jaromir Jagr, and 2 points behind Jagr in the scoring race. Jagr with 42 points. A 3-on-2. Ozelin shot. Good job of cutting off that angle by Mike Vernon. Now Friesen gets it for the Sharks. At center, trying to stick handle through traffic, lost it. Now Friesen all the way back into his own end, sends it up to center ice. And Friesen shaken up behind the play. He might have run into Mike Vernon back there. I'm not sure what happened, but Friesen comes up with, I don't know if he got hit in the mouth.
Well, Forsberg's coming over to him to talk, and I don't know whether he's apologizing or maybe having words with Jeff Friesen. You see him handling the puck, and there you see Forsberg trying to get at his arm. Oh, and there you see the stick come up. Inadvertently one-handed. And he's cut Jeff Friesen. It's going to be a 4-minute penalty. You've got to take control of your stick, and right there, Jeff Friesen spots the blood. I think it's more an abrasion than anything else, but a nice turn of events here for the San Jose Sharks. Less than 4 minutes to go here in the first period and a 4-minute power play.
Get a free Nokia 5120 and $50 instant rebate when you purchase any 2 accessories from ePhones. 7 convenient locations, or order online at ephones.com. So Bob Hartley now has his team facing a 4-minute shorthanded situation, as you saw Friesen getting attention over on the Sharks bench. So for now, they'll start the power play without him, and they score! Mike Ricci, a one-timer, beats Patrick Waugh.
And Nicholas Sundstrom, the winger on this line, really makes the play. Excellent forecheck, strips the puck, spots Mike Ricci, and a backhand pass, which isn't the easiest pass to make, right onto the stick of Mike Ricci. As you mentioned, Randy, one-times it, beating Patrick Waugh, and the Sharks lead at 1-0. We'll see it from high overhead, the puck in behind, and you see that tenacious forecheck. It's Patrick Waugh that Sundstrom strips it from. The perfect feed on the backhand. You see him take one stride. There's the pass, not much room. Right onto the stick of Mike Ricci, and he makes no mistake.
So that wipes one of the 2-minute penalties off the board. The Sharks get another full 2 minutes now with the man advantage. Here's Stewart. Working on the near side, over to Patrick Marleau, front of the net for Ricci. And DeVries trying to bring it out for Colorado. Ricci gets a hold of it again. Suter, cross ice for Stewart. Here's Brad Stewart moving down the wing. Dishing behind the net to Sundstrom again. Now out to Marleau. Patrick to Suter, the one-timer. Waugh, the save. Big rebound, but it came out past all the Shark forwards, and it's cleared down the ice by Stefan Yell.
And you saw the traffic there in front of Patrick Waugh. Not only were they screening, they were trying to tip that original shot coming in from the point. As you mentioned, Randy, a rebound just passed.
Here's Nolan down the right side, pulls up, back to Suter at the line. In front again, and Patrick Waugh just squeezing the pads as Vinny Danfus redirected that shot from the blue line.
And a great example here of shots from the point on the power play. They don't have to be hard. You don't have to be picking corners. They just have to be on net. And you'll see the setup in front for the redirection. First, Owen Nolan with a good burst of speed, brings it back to the point. You see time for the shot, and watch the man in front. The white jersey set up, looking for the tip. Might have got a bit of a stick on it. That was Vinny Domfus. Bunted it on his shaft right into the midsection of Patrick Waugh. And there's Mike Ricci getting that first goal on the power play. He had 2 in the playoffs last year against his former team.
That was his 6th of the year from Sundstrom and Suter at 16-11 on the power play. DeVries trying to clear it out. Couldn't. Now Nolan off the half boards. Back to Vinny. He gets quick pressure from Deadmarsh. They fire it around. Norton waiting on it. Moves it over to Friesen. Here's Jeff Friesen from the boards to the corner, out to Damphus, and then Friesen is flattened and gets a punch in the kisser after that from Adam Foote.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Colorado Avalanche really taking liberties while killing penalties earlier, and I think you mentioned it, Randy. It was Patty Marleau in front of the net taking a couple of cross checks right across the back, no call.
Here's Damphus working down the wing, double team. Nolan comes in and pile drives DeVries. Now they all land on top of the puck. Friesen playing the body on Dave Reed, and the Avs move it back out to center. Just 7 seconds left now on the second Forsberg penalty, and some rough stuff behind the play. 2 Colorado players ganging up on Owen Nolan. Finally, it's Nolan and DeVries tying up.
Owen Nolan getting a couple of shots in, and boy, was Greg DeVries ever close to make that Adam Foote ever close to being 3rd man in. Greg DeVries, pretty tough customer. Played with Brian Marshman with the Edmonton Oilers. He'll attest to his strength. Owen Nolan dropping him with one of the bigger Colorado Avalanche defensemen. Obviously something happening along the boards on the power play that Owen Nolan didn't like. You'll see the tail end when a couple of punches were thrown. There you see a couple of quick lefts by Owen Nolan. Adam Foote standing there, and you see him getting the warning from Walcom. If he had intervened, he would have got 3rd man in. Owen Nolan with only 1:52 to go in this period, getting a rest after that skirmish.
So they get 2 each for roughing at 18:08. So as you said, they'll go off for the rest of this period.
Well, I don't think Daryl Sutter will like that trade. Obviously one of the top scoring wingers in the NHL, going off with DeVries.
There you see Colorado. They have been outstanding in the first period this year. It's their best, outscoring the opponent 30-19, and the Sharks' first period has been their worst. So this bodes well for them so far, up 1-0 against this club.
And they've got an unbelievable record when leading after one in the first period, 9-1-1. They don't lose too many games that they lead after a period. Talking about San Jose.
The teams at even strength here as it comes off the boards and out of play. With 1:43 left, there's Mike Rathje. Just his 2nd game back after the long injury layoff, and understandably, he felt a little sluggish on Monday night.
Well, timing is such a big part of his game because positionally he's so sound. He's not an overly physical defenseman, but he plays his position so well, takes away a lot of prime ice, and timing is going to be very important to him coming back. It's really hard to miss 16 games, and I don't know how many weeks it ended up working out being, but it's really tough to step back in and be in game shape.
Here's a chance in front for Tanguay. Another chance for Drury, as the Sharks having some trouble right off the face-off in their own end here. Tanguay now battling Ron Sutter on the boards. Gets it down into the corner. Milan Hajduk there as Rathje got it away from him. And now Mateau sends it over center ice. So Rathje in a good battle there with a guy who, well, you talk about shark killers in the NHL, and that phrase gets thrown around as Mateau glances one off the post. Hajduk really was a killer last year. He got the overtime game winner in game 2, and then he got the series ender in game 6 in overtime to knock the Sharks out of the first round. Now Tanguay to the blue line, gets no further as Ricci will flip it up into the Colorado zone under a minute now in the first period. Ozelinch waiting for a line change. Now it's played in by Adam Foote. Vernon, a little indecisive back there. Finally it comes to Mike Ricci, and he'll get it out of trouble in a hurry. Here's Reed. Off the boards, trying to lead it in for Deadmarsh, but Brad Stewart will get to this. He quickly wheels it around for Sundstrom, who takes it neatly off the boards and down to center ice for Skula. Forsberg, checked by Ricci. Here comes Sundstrom down the wing. To Ricci. He drops it back for Sundstrom. Now to the late man coming, Tony Granato, but broken up by Reed. Here's Deadmarsh, and that's broken up by Ricci. Good defensive plays at both ends. Now Forsberg, and he's run into by Stewart, and that's the end of a very...
Get it to him, and it's just an ideal fit coming here to San Jose.
Second period underway with Owen Nolan and Greg DeVries in the penalty box, serving their minors from late in that opening period. Shot right on target by Ron Stern. Ricci with a chance, and Patrick Waugh denies him that time. So right off the opening faceoff, Sharks come down, and Mike Ricci gets another scoring opportunity.
And Mike Ricci was pointless in 10 games coming into tonight's contest, so I'm sure that's a huge monkey off his back, scoring the goal, and it's even sweeter coming against his former team.
Here's Peter Forsberg. He cuts in down the left wing, checked by Stewart. Forsberg still with it, dishing back to John Clem, and Vernon will make the glove save. As you saw the ability Peter Forsberg has right there to hold that puck. He's so patient with it.
He's so patient, and he's so strong also, being able to protect it. Excellent balance. You give him an inch, he'll take a mile. And here's some of that patience you were talking about. He feels the pressure, but he hangs on. You see, with one hand, using it as a bit of a shield there, spotting the open seam, giving it to Clem. And the shot on net. I talked about him being a complete hockey player, not afraid to play the body, even though he's a Swedish player, European. He likes to get involved physically. In fact, plays some of his best games when he is involved physically. But Joe Nieuwendyk out 3 years ago for about 2.5 months with a separated shoulder. Huge open ice hit.
Faceoff coming into San Jose zone. Stefan Yell skating away from Patrick Marleau. Checked behind the net by Ragnarsson. Now Dave Reed leaned on to by Patrick. Marleau moving it into the corner. Left there for Reed. Reed at a bad angle, tries to give it off to the side for Uzelins, and he threw it right in front. But it comes back to Mike Rafferty, and he'll jam it off the glass and down the ice. This will be an icing call. So a minute 12 played here in this second period. As you saw just before that faceoff, Owen Nolan back out of the penalty box for the Sharks.
And we see Mike Rafferty back. You mentioning his second game back after missing 16. Timing's a concern, but we talked about his strong play positionally. Just a guy who can take away a lot of ice. He's got excellent size, 6'5". Maybe he doesn't hit as much as the coaching staff would like, but is effective because he'll nullify people. He won't knock them off their skates, but he'll take them out of the play. And that's all that Daryl Sutter asks. You're not a scoring threat when you're pinned up against the boards, and that's something that Mike Rafferty does very well. Uses his size, his leverage, as does Marcus Ragnarsson, his defense partner tonight.
The top lines matched up head-to-head right now as Danfus facing off against Forsberg. Here's Rafferty ahead for Jeff Friesen. Friesen watched by Brian Ralston as he carries the blue line himself. Tries to maneuver around Martin Skula. Danfus comes in, and now Owen Nolan gets it in the corner. Back behind the net for Friesen. Watched by Forsberg. Vinny back there too. He's occupied by Skula. And it's Forsberg coming away with the puck. Deadmarsh moved off it by Danfus. And he's checked by Ralston. So far not really as wide open as the first period, as Danfus glances one off the glove of Patrick Waugh. The hitting keeps on coming though. Now Danfus stealing it at the side. Wraparound try on Waugh, and Patrick had it covered.
Uncharacteristic giveaway by Adam Foote, and Vinny Danfus took advantage, jumped on the puck. Right away he looked for an open man, couldn't find him, made the right decision, went for the wraparound. Patrick Waugh was there with the stick.
Ricci, who has the game's only goal, sending it deep into the Colorado zone. Now he does some good work on the far boards. It comes back to Ricci. Now on the far side, Matteau in front for Ron Stern. Nice play, but a good knockdown by DeVries. Now quickly back comes Colorado. Hayduka's shot saved by Vernon, and Norton sweeps the rebound to the corner. The pace picks up. Ricci crossing center, fires it in for Ron Stern. Stern behind the net, leaves it there. Ricci can't get to it in time. Fired around, but not out. Here's Matteau to Ricci. Going down is Stern. Ricci gives it back to Ron Stern. Back to Ricci on the near side. Ricci trying to get through some heavy traffic. Lost the puck. And Chris Drury will send it down, but not before he's crunched by Ron Stern.
Mike Ricci did a good job controlling the puck down low, and as he often does, handled it with just one hand on the stick. Sometimes not always in the best situations.
John Clem from the point. That's blocked. And now we've got something brewing. Brant Myers squaring up against, looks like, Chris Dingman. And Dingman's helmet comes off. Myers throwing left. Dingman trying to protect himself, and he wrestles Myers down to the ice. Brant, as it ends up on top, and I think he probably got the only licks in on the fight.
Got a couple of shots in early. Dingman tried to tie him up. He got a couple of more shots in from the side. Interesting the way that Dingman went at Brant Myers. Obviously knowing something about his fighting style, came at him almost sideways. Lined up in an east-west direction as Myers was standing north-south. We'll see it right in the center of the screen. And it didn't take much. Both players obviously talked about it just before the drop of the puck. And watch Dingman right here. Sideways. I think trying to land a haymaker, maybe grabbing on and then throw that bomb from behind. You see a couple of shots to the side of the head by Brant Myers. The takedown by Dingman, but as you mentioned, Randy, it's Brant Myers who ends up on top.
A couple of Edmonton boys going at it. Chris Dingman, also a native of Edmonton, Alberta. There's Myers. Dingman, no small dude either, at 6'4", 245.
I think they're talking over round 2 right now. Couldn't really tell exactly what was being said between players, but I'm sure those two players will come together again before the night's out.
Dingman came to Colorado in the big trade that sent Theo Fleury to the Avalanche. They threw Dingman in along on the deal with Corbet, Belak, and what ended up being Robert Regier going back to Calgary. At center ice, it's Ron Sutter for the Sharks. They lead 1-0 on Mike Ricci's first period power play goal. Now a bad bounce for Colorado, but they're able to get it out of trouble as Sean Podine hauls it in. A weak backhander, and Vernon will choose Christmas. Here's Brad Stewart. Gary Suter back there to help him out. He moves it up the wing, but it's held in by Adam Foote. Now Tanguay sending it behind the net. Owen Nolan waiting on it. Plays it off the boards, but right back to Skula. His shot gets through, but it's wide. That was a screamer. Skula had a lot on that, and he kept it low to the ice. Drury sending it in, and that deflects off, I believe, Hayduk right on to Mike Vernon, and he reacts quickly to make the glove stop.
Mike Hayduk used his knee pad there to redirect the puck, and it would have counted as a goal. It wasn't kicked, but he certainly positioned his body to get a favorable bounce. You see his numbers compared this year to last year. Just a torrid pace, 17 goals already. You see the centering pass, it's airborne. And Hayduk, a little bit of a nudge with that left leg, put it right on net. Mike Vernon there with the easy stop.
Hayduk finished second in the voting last year for the Rookie of the Year, the Calder Trophy, to the man to our right of him, Chris Drury, who won the Calder. And the Avalanche this year thinking they've got some rookies on their lineup that could tend for it again. Players like Alex Tanguay. It's been a long time, though, since anyone had back-to-back Rookies of the Year in the NHL. In fact, you have to go way back to 1968 when the Bruins had back-to-back Rookies of the Year. Some guy named Bobby Orr and then another guy named Derek Sanderson. Some pretty good hockey players in Boston back in the late 60s. Here's Forsberg, lead pass, Ozolin's shot, save, rebound, and it just goes wide of the post. Colorado coming on here in the second period as they try for the equalizer. Ragnarsson tying up with fellow Swede Forsberg. Out of the pack comes Adam Dedmark. Back for Forsberg. To the side, and a shot by Ralston, weak one wide, centered again, and Sundstrom will play it to Patrick Marleau and back over to Mike Rathje.
Well, the Colorado Avalanche starting to play a little stronger along the boards, winning those battles, and again, Sandis Ozolinch spotting the opportunity, jumping in from the blue line, and getting a pretty good scoring opportunity.
John Clem sends it in hard around the boards. picked up by Stefan Yell on the far side. Here's Reed. Behind the net to Podine. Podine trying to decide which way to go with it. Tries a wraparound. They score. Stefan Yell. It looks like it went in from here. The light's on. There was no whistle. We'll have to wait, but I think Stefan Yell just tied the game.
I think he did too. I think it went off the inside of that bar that goes around the back of the net. Funny enough, the referee in behind made no call on it. He didn't see it. It came out so quickly. Stefan Yell parked in front from close range, went upstairs with it, and it came out awful quickly. Colorado continues their domination in this period on the board. You see the puck possession down low. The shot come in, and I think it went in off that center post that runs down the back of the middle of the net. Watch from in close. Yell fighting off the check from Ricci, and there you see the shot. No, it did hit that upper bar, just up in behind Mike Vernon. You'll see it cross the goal line clearly, and good work by Yell. Mike Ricci taking away his stick. He gets it free at the last second to score the goal.
Nice setup too from Sean Podine as Yell gets his 5th of the year. Now Drury, a drop pass and a blast by the rookie Tanguay, and Vernon with the glove stop, and now more pushing and shoving after the whistle.
Well, Mike Vernon comes back with a real strong save there. That was labeled for the inside of the left post. Mike Vernon, his last start against the Detroit Red Wings, gave up 4 goals. 2 of them though put in off the stick of their own teammates. Ended up going in off San Jose Shark defenseman. There you see that blast on the left side of the net. Mike Vernon there, an excellent glove. One of the best in the NHL.
Well, there's Stefan Yell, who picks up his 5th. Podine and Reed getting the assists at 5:38. And you could just feel Colorado coming on stronger about 3-4 shifts ago. And they tie it up as Bob Hartley's club has continued their strong road play. They come into tonight's game at 6-8-3 away from home, just a couple of games under 500.
Winners of 4 of their last 5. They were blown out by the Phoenix Coyotes. I think that was a bit of a wake-up call for the Colorado Avalanche. They were under 500 at the time, and they bounced back very strongly since that loss.
They gave up 7 goals in that last loss to Phoenix. And Patrick Waugh was left in net by Hartley for all 7 of them. Here's Damphus trying to get it ahead for Owen Nolan. Adam Foote is back there, checked by Friesen. Now Damphus does a nice job to keep the puck in. Now Nolan centering pass for Friesen, just off his stick. Another shot comes in. Waugh the save. Now Damphus after it, but Skula beats him to the puck in the corner. Here's Martin Skula to center ice for Colorado. He'll flip it on target, and Vernon scoops it up.
And that's how your #1 line can change the complexion of the game. They came out. San Jose had been playing a lot of the period in their own end. Owen Nolan with a good play behind the net, threw it out front, just in front of Jeff Friesen. He couldn't quite reach it.
Damphus will dump it into the corner as the Sharks quickly change up. 13-10 left here in the second period in a 1-1 tie. Renato tripped up away from the play. Now Marleau with a near steal at the blue line, but Dave Reed comes down the right wing for Colorado. In front through the top of the goal crease. Back to Granato. He'll send it to the blue line, but it's held in there. Now Suter trying to clear it, can't. Stefan Yell dumps it back around behind the net. Rogers moving to it. He's checked by Suter. Now Gary Suter comes out of it with the puck. Granato fakes the shot from center. Sundstrom looking. His pass denied. Nice job on the near wing by Colorado as it was broken up. And back comes Ozolinsk the other way. Cross ice intended for Drury. Ron Sutter intercepts that. Here's Sundstrom to Marleau. One man back. Patrick Marleau skating in. Now fades back to try and shut up Suter. Right to the side. Bouncing puck into the corner for Andy Sutton. Here's Sutton, drops it on the boards for Suter. Around for Mike Ricci. Ricci comes back up the near boards. Rouse from the point. Now around to Tanguay for Colorado. He'll jam it around for John Clem. Here's Drury with Tanguay on the left side. Tanguay trying to get around Jeff Norton. Overskates the puck. Drury a flip shot, and that was up high and wide. Eric Messier back for the Avalanche. 11:33 left here in the second period. DeVries taking his time as Nolan and Messier shoving one another in front of the net. Back to Jeff Norton. Now here's Danfus turning down the left side. Pass for Nolan just behind him. Rouse's shot. That was up high in trouble for Patrick Roy as it goes out of play. He left.
Again, rookie seeing some action here in Colorado, and I'm sure they'll rest up Patrick Roy heading into the playoffs.
Adam Foote ahead for Dave Reed as we're in the second period. Reed gets it in front. Oh, what a chance for Sean Podine, but he shot it high.
And I don't know how Podine got his stick on it being dragged down at the time. Somehow managed the shot.
Here's Nolan. Score!
And I talked about how your #1 line can change the complexion. And in the second period, Colorado has really dictated a lot of the play deep in the San Jose zone. It's #1 line, though. Their last 3 shifts have really dictated the pace of play. The turnover by Colorado, and a great transition here. You see Owen Nolan jump on the loose puck off the pressure. And look at his shot. Patrick Roy didn't move until it was past him. I think it catches a piece of him. Excellent pressure there. Skula gives it up. And that's Jeff Friesen who causes the turnover. He won't get an assist on the play, but he was responsible for the goal. Excellent forecheck. Skula turns it over, and Owen Nolan with his 21st of the year.
That's your NHL goal-scoring leader. It's unassisted officially, but Jeff Friesen gets an unofficial assist for the great work he did to create the turnover. Owen Nolan now on top of Jaromir Jagr for the NHL goal-scoring lead.
And both the San Jose goals coming off good forechecks. Earlier it was Nicholas Sundstrom who ended up putting good pressure on Patrick Roy.
Another shot by the Sharks, this time from the left side, and Patrick Roy forced to make another save as the Sharks now out shooting Colorado in this game 19-14. That is a personal record for Owen Nolan, 6 straight games with a goal, and it also is a Sharks franchise record. No player has ever scored a goal in 6 in a row.
Well, you know, Randy, up to this year, I think some people would have said that maybe Colorado got the better of the deal, getting Sandis Ozolinsh back in 1995-96, the year they won the Stanley Cup. But you look at his numbers this year, and definitely on pace to be a 40-goal scorer, perhaps better. A guy who leads his team in hits. He's an aggressive player, and you combine all those things together, and you're looking at a player who can really dictate the way the game is played.
Here's Ricci with a chance from Mateau. Just unable to connect. Back comes Drury for Colorado, and he has to bail out on the play with Hayduk offside. And this one will go up and over the glass in the corner to give us a stoppage with 10:17 left in the second period. Well, Sandis Ozolinsh not on the score sheet yet, but it's early.
You know, I made the comparison between Ozolinsh and Nolan, and some people thought that Colorado got the better of the deal. Obviously, winning a Stanley Cup right away helped Sandis Ozolinsh in the eyes of prognosticators. But Owen Nolan, you look at the year he's had this year, and really the first year he's felt comfortable with his centerman. We're talking about Vinny Danfus, and the numbers just keep on racking up, leading the league in goal scoring right now. Those two players traded for each other at the beginning of the 95-96 season.
Ozolinsh paired up with John Clem on defense, and we've seen Clem make a couple of nice rushes offensively tonight too. That's quite a formidable pair on the blue line for Colorado offensively. As Ralston sends it in front, nice yet. Here's Brad Stewart back for the Sharks. They lead at 2-1 here in the second period, just past the halfway mark of the hockey game. Sundstrom over the line, but Patrick Marleau went in first. That'll put the Sharks in an offside position.
Well, Patrick Marleau, 3 of his 7 goals have been game winners. He's been physical tonight, especially in that first period, being involved in front of the net. You see his numbers over the last 9 games. A goal and 4 assists. Last year played an awful lot with Owen Nolan and Alex Koryuk. This year he's been seeing a lot of duty with a lot of different wingers. Tonight he's got Nicholas Sundstrom on his left-hand side.
It might seem with 7 goals and 10 assists that Marleau is not off to that great an offensive start, but he's actually ahead of last year when he finished with 45 points. And here's Patrick at the side. Has it cleared away by Avalanche. And now Colorado moves it back into the Shark zone.
And going into the season, Patrick Marleau, looking at his numbers, was probably hoping for a 60-point season. He's still very capable of attaining that. Consistency again in play earlier this year.
Good work by this line as they've forced a couple of turnovers near the blue line. Now the change as Norton sends it in, and the Damphus line out there for the Sharks. At the side, Friesen with a tip. Now back to Norton at center ice. Tries to guide it in for Friesen. Kept in. Now Nolan will get around for Friesen behind the net. Here's Jeff Friesen trying to send it back to Rouse at the point. Intercepted, and Sean Podine fires it in. Vernon gets it to Nolan. Now Damphus has Friesen breaking through center ice. Friesen slowed down by Adam Foote. Now Friesen trying to get his balance as he backed in toward the puck. Here's Friesen behind the net. Then he gets it off his skate, back for Friesen, and the net comes off as Stefan Yell checked Owen Nolan into the post.
Well, part of the reason Owen Nolan has 21 goals this year, he goes to the net very hard, and here he goes to the net and avoids making contact with the crossbar. Ends up knocking down Patrick Waugh in the process. I'm not too sure whether a defenseman didn't help him into Patrick Waugh. Good job here by Jeff Friesen to nullify the icing. Keeps the play alive down low to Vinny Damphus, and here you see Owen Nolan, and yeah, he was steered into the netminder by the defenseman. And that might have been Stefan Yell in front of the net who did the directing.
Well, there's Nolan over the last 3 and almost half years. 21 goals at this point as we're at game 33. He's already passed his totals of each of the last 2 years, and that 96-97 total of 31, well within reach, as he's only 10 away from that.
Well, not only is he scoring goals, he's been such a leader, obviously wearing the C the last couple of years in the bench, and obviously leading with his play on the ice.
The checking line out there now of Sutton, Sutter, and Myers. They've been together a couple of games now due to injuries. Myers and Odgers came together hard along the near boards, and they knocked big Mike Civic on his keister. That's tough to do. Civic's no small dude either. Checks in around 6'6". Here's Forsberg, tripped by Myers, and there's going to be a penalty to the Sharks as DeVries has given it to Myers. And the Sharks would love to entice one of the Avalanche players into a minor too, but it looks like just Myers going for the trip.
And Brant Myers was having a strong shift. Had a couple of big hits on Odgers, on DeVries down low, and then he tries to run into Peter Forsberg, who sidesteps him, gets his stick into the legs of the Swedish centerman. Here you see the original hit on Odgers. Good check. Knocks Mike Civic and Odgers down to the ice. Brant Myers ends up losing his balance, and later on, here's the hit. Well, that's on Messier. Ends up finishing a check there, and watch him go after Forsberg. Forsberg sees him at the last second, is going to go around him, and Myers gets his stick into the legs, knocks him down, and he'll set 2 minutes.
Forsberg's also very clever at drawing penalties, and if he was quickly enough able to pick up who that was, that might have helped him down just a little bit, realizing that Myers would certainly be a target for the referees in any kind of a call that was close. So the Sharks shorthanded as Colorado's power play quickly comes to work. Here's Forsberg spinning back to the point. Now gives it short to Drury on the wall. Back out to Avalanche, and he couldn't reach it. But he gets up quickly and does beat Sundstrom to the puck. Forsberg denied at the blue line. And another near pickoff for Nicholas Sundstrom as Avalanche finally decides to quit with the fancy stuff at the blue line and fire it in. Gets it to Drury. Now Deadmarsh behind the net. Back to Avalanche at the point. Here's Forsberg. Avalanche winds up. Back to Forsberg. Hayduk takes it into the corner. Tripped up by Ragnarsson back there. No call. Sharks may have gotten away with one there, and now it comes over the line. No, they call it a hand pass with 1:04 left on the power play.
Well, Milan Hajduk, obviously a big part of this #1 ranked power play, especially through the absences of Joe Sakic, Peter Forsberg, who's only played 3 games this year. Very calm with the puck. He's a great finisher, 17 goals. But he's also a kind of guy who hangs on to it and doesn't panic when he feels pressure. He's not bad at spotting open wingers, too. Chris Drury along those same lines, very gritty in front of the net. Marcus Ragnarsson doing a good job out there, you know, talking about Peter Forsberg earlier, saying he doesn't think there's a stronger player on his skates than Peter Forsberg, a guy who you can take into the boards and doesn't lose his balance very often.
Owen Nolan racing to the puck, trying to fire it out. It actually hit Suter and stayed in. Forsberg goes down after a battle with Suter. Here's Ralston at the side. Now Forsberg back up and on it over to Tanguay. Alex Tanguay to Brian Ralston. Suter tried to get it out, and now here's Norton leading a 3-on-2 short-handed rush. Norton to freeze it. The shot off the skate of Ralston. Nolan gets it back, and he'll send it to Suter at center ice. All the way up to center. And now just 18 to go on this Colorado power play. Denmark wrestled to the ice by Nolan.
On Vernon.
So here we go, a 5-on-3 for Colorado from the draw. Ozelinch getting it back to the point. Tried to get a shot away. Now he will. Vernon comes up with the save. Well, Ozelinch was looking shot all the way from the time he got that puck, and he got a good shot away. Mike Vernon coming up with the save.
Well, he showed very good patience, too, because Marcus Ragnarsson played him perfectly. And you see him fake that shot, walk back to the middle. Now Ragnarsson's a little behind him. Gets some support from Mike Ricci. The shot, though, over the legs of Ricci. Mike Vernon there to make the stop.
Again off the draw, it's Ozelinch. He glides in, fakes the shot, now to the side, and unable to handle it is Forsberg. And Myers out of the penalty box. It's down to a 5-on-4. Here's Hajduk to Drury to Forsberg. What a lineup. Drury again moves it out to Ozelinch at the blue line. His shot is blocked by Myers. Al Rafchi trying to clear it out. And he does, and here's Brant Myers down the right side. Myers shot, saved by Patrick Waugh.
Good penalty killing shift there for Brant Myers, who doesn't normally kill penalties. Came out of the penalty box, deflected a shot into the corner, then he got a good shot of his own on Patrick Waugh.
Brad Stewart, and he'll get it all the way out. Now just a minute left in the Norton penalty. A little trouble for Forsberg as he grabs on to Danfus' stick right in front of the referee O'Halloran, who lets it go. Ozelinch moves it to center. Reed gets it down into the corner. Vernon quickly there. Can't clear it by Drury. Turns it over, though, to Danfus, and now he'll skate out with Ron Sutter. Vinny over the line for Sutter. That one hit Ozelinch, and Danfus will just send it around behind the net. 23 to go in the power play for Colorado. Excellent penalty killing so far for the Sharks.
A good job, too, by Vinny Danfus, coming down low to support the defense. And he bailed out Mike Vernon. Ill-advised pass along the boards. Came down, stole the puck from the Colorado Avalanche, and got it out.
Ralston with one last power play rush. At the point, Ozelin's shot, saved by Vernon. The penalty's over as Norton's on the ice. Here's a chance in front. And Norton able to clear it away from the corner as the Sharks kill off a glorious chance for Colorado. Ragnarsson up for Nolan, went off his skates. Here's Bodine with a shot, steered aside by Vernon. Now Rafchi on the boards for Nolan. Owen will wait a moment, control it, send it cross ice for Norton. Norton sending it in, but DeVries controls for Colorado. 3:18 left in the second period. 2-1, the Sharks leading. Now a turnover at center ice. Tony Granato sending it down the left side. Patrick Waugh jamming it ahead for Chris Dingman. The hitting picks up again as Granato took Dingman out on the boards. Now Stewart fires it in for the Sharks. Here's Marlowe. Controls it with his feet. And he's checked by Yell. Marlowe gets it back. In front, Sundstrom a shot. And it may have deflected off Podine's stick high. Granado hauled down. No call on the play. Now you want to make sure they spell your name right.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be there for a long time to come.
Sharks on the power play. Adam Foote called for holding at 17-16. And Nolan got it right in his wheelhouse. But I don't think he got good wood on that. He was shaking his head after he fired the shot.
Didn't get good wood, but it was a great location. It was on the ice. It looked like it might have caught the inside of that right post. But as Patrick Law often does, down in the butterfly, caught it with his pad.
Friesen leading the rush this time. Now Damphus out of the corner. Back for Friesen behind the net. Vinny at the side and out to the point for Suter. Back for Damphus, but he had to reach out for it. Now Suter up in the high slot. Back to Damphus. Nolan fires it, and it's tipped by Podine out of play. That faceoff will stay down in the Colorado zone. That one went way up into the upper deck here at the Shark Tank. Not too many times a puck finds itself way up there, but it did there.
There it is up in the second balcony. I'm not too sure how many feet that is up. 30 or 40 anyway. Owen Nolan leading the NHL in power play goals, looking for another one there. He's the setup guy. Vinny Damphus setting up on those half boards, normally on the right side. Looking for Nolan across ice in a one-time situation. That puck deflected out of play.
You see the time left on the power play, 1:12. Damphus, Nolan, and Friesen stay out there up front with Stewart and Suter back on the blue line. Vinny gets the draw, back for Suter. Stewart handling it carefully against Ralston. Made a nice move. Now Damphus behind the net. Looking for the setup. Throws it back to the blue line. Now here's Nolan. To the side, a shot. And they score! Brad Stewart scores a power play goal.
Well, Stewart really helped start this play, and he certainly finishes it off. An excellent move at the blue line to keep the puck alive. Draws Brian Ralston out of position. Keeps control of the puck, gets it down low, and that's when the Sharks start to weave their magic. Then you see the move by Stewart. Keeps it alive, gets it down low, then he goes to the front of the net, and he stays there. And that's the key, because watch what happens. The puck comes back to the point. Across ice to Nolan. You see the shot there. Gets redirected right to the front. And Brad Stewart on the backhand chips it into an open net. It's a 3-1 game for the Sharks.
And their second power play goal of the game. Damphus and Nolan getting the assist on Stewart's 5th of the year. 3-1 the score as Rathje will clear it on to the San Jose bench, and Owen Nolan again with points on 2 of the Sharks' goals, and Brad Stewart certainly at this point in the game outshining all the other rookies on the ice as he nets number 5.
Well, he had 7 goals. Actually, the Sharks D had 7 goals in the first 10 games. It was a torrid pace, and they dropped off. In fact, they went through a stretch recently where they had no goals in 16 games. They picked it up again, and Brad Stewart playing with the poise of a veteran there on the blue line, getting pressure from Ralston, walking around him, and then finishing it off perfectly in front of the net.
Now Ron Sutter sends it up the right wing side. Here's Ron Stern with some time. Gets a shot away. And Patrick Waugh makes the save. Good quality opportunity there for Stern.
Well, the Sharks are really using the outside of the ice, using their speed to the outside. And Ron Stern, seeing a bit of a lane between he and the goaltender, ends up taking the shot. Ron Stern's had a strong game tonight. We talked about his physical presence in the first period, going hard to the net. Continues here with a couple of strong shifts.
Even though some of the defense is back off the injured list, Sharks are still banged up. Dave Lowry on the injured reserve list with a separated shoulder. Marco Sturm still trying to shake off the effects of his concussion. Korolyuk with the fractured orbital. There's Granato with a chance in front as he dives across the goal mouth and just missed making it 4-1. Here's Marlowe over the blue line, trying to make a play against Skula, but he loses the puck. Forsberg gives it right back to the Sharks. Sharks also still missing Murray Craven with a strained ab muscle. Under 40 seconds left here in the second period. Marlowe battling behind the net with Forsberg. Here's Sundstrom out of the corner to Ragnarsson. Back around for Marlowe. He can't get to it, and now Granato's shoved into the net. And it comes off as he and Adam Foote now tussle.
Well, it was Adam Foote who pushed Granato into the net. The net came off its moorings. Then he gave a couple of shots for Granato after the whistle had gone. And Tony obviously upset. Adam Foote looks as if he's reacting like he just got a penalty for that. I'm not too sure whether both players are going off. Well, Adam Foote stays on the ice, so I guess there isn't a penalty called on the play. Adam Foote just recently back in the lineup after being off the injured reserve. And Tony Granato has played 12 of the first 33 games for the San Jose Sharks. The last 5 in a row now. And the only Shark to win a postseason award. Of course, he won the Masterton Trophy, given to the player who shows perseverance, sportsmanship, and dedication to hockey.
He's really John with Adam Foote right now. There's a dedication to expletives, I think, right now, because they are really going at one another.
So much for the sportsmanship on that last shift.
Ricci gets the draw back to Rafchi. Stefan Yell sends it up the boards, but Ragnarsson pinching hard, keeps it into Ron Stern, fires a shot that's blocked. Second shot blocked by Podine. Here's Ragnarsson with 10 seconds left. Mateau to the side, Stern, and he hit the side of the net, and he's thrown to the ice. Circle tonight. 10 out of 14 draws for Vinny.
And that's such an important part of the game, especially against the Colorado Avalanche. It's all about puck possession, and you certainly have the puck when you're winning draws.
Third period underway. As Sandis Ozolinsh is forced back into his own zone, and Mike Ricci thought he had that one at the blue line. Meanwhile, back on this side of the ice, Ron Stern and Peter Forsberg were going at it.
Well, the Sharks have been very physical on Forsberg. That time, Ronnie Stern taking him into the boards. Forsberg was checking up in his mouth area. He might have been cut on the inside of the mouth, as you see him check his cheek there. Here, Forsberg played with Marcus Ragnarsson on the Swedish Olympic team in 1998, Nagano, Japan.
And it's always a great matchup between the two as well, because I think Forsberg brings out the best in Marcus Ragnarsson. It's one of those almost personal challenges. It goes beyond just the game in and game out rigors of playing at a high level of defense for Ragnarsson. He really wants to shut Forsberg down, because that's great bragging rights when they get back together again next time.
Well, it's a great standard to measure yourself against. And as you mentioned, one of the best in the league. One-on-one, he's outstanding. And if you can get out of the game having held Peter Forsberg to no points, you know you've done your job.
Danfus does the wise thing and ices the puck. Sharks were a little disorganized down in their own end. Mike Vernon misplayed the puck, and there were too many talented shooters out there, so Vinny just got rid of it.
And Owen Nolan playing on this line with Vinny Danfus. It was against these Colorado Avalanche last year in the playoffs that Owen really felt he ran out of gas in the playoffs. Only had a goal and an assist. Then in the offseason undertook the very heavy regimen, the off-ice training regimen, and that has helped him immeasurably during this season, obviously leading in the goal-scoring department now after tonight. So I guess he has the Colorado Avalanche to thank indirectly just because of the playoffs last year.
Off the draw, it came right at Vernon. Now Brad Stewart tripped by Podine in the corner. Gets back up and moves it around to Nolan on the far side. Sharks are a very good team with a lead after 2 periods. In fact, they haven't lost this year yet, when they've led heading into the third. A perfect 13-0. Second time in a row that puck unusually caroms back to Vernon, so he decides to shut her down and take a face-off in the San Jose zone. And as we reflect back on the first two periods, Mike Vernon came up with some very key saves as well, which kept the Sharks even, and now with the 2-goal lead, those saves become even larger.
Yeah, early in the second period, Colorado seemed to be wrestling some of the momentum away from the San Jose Sharks after that good, strong first period by the Sharks. Mike Vernon was there to shut the door, and then the Sharks slowly but surely started to take over the rest of the game. The backup goaltender Steve Shields, who has started 22 of the 33 games so far.
And you kind of figured going into the year it would be kind of a 2-to-1 ratio, Shields and Vernon. And that's exactly the way it's played out. As you said, 22 for Shields and what, 11 for Vernon? That's 2-to-1 if I remember my elementary mathematics. Here's Sundstrom out of the corners. Granato got it on target. Here's Marlowe with a backhander. That hit Patrick in the mask. Forsberg on his knees. Just dumps it into the Shark zone.
Yeah, you're right, Randy. That just hit Patrick Waugh. Didn't move, went down, and it hit him.
Ralston hits the post. And the Sharks get a break there, as Brian Ralston just about brought the Avalanche back to within one.
You know what? Mike Vernon got a piece of that with his stick. It was an excellent shot. He got his stick on it, the redirection, then put it off the post.
Here goes Ron Stern after a puck down the right wing. Patrick Waugh wisely choosing to come out and play that. Now Dedmar's checked. The puck bouncing behind Jeff Norton and into the Shark zone. He and Alex Tanguay go to the corner after it. Drury's there for Colorado. Rouse ties him up. Now underneath the pile, and we get the whistle.
Jeff Norton playing a physical game. He seems to have his best games against Colorado. Last year, he led all Shark players in the postseason in scoring. No goals and 7 assists was more than Vinny Danfus' 6 points. And here you see that last flurry in front of Patrick Waugh, the redirection there from Tony Granato. And then the follow-up, Patrick Marleau on the backhand. You see Patrick Waugh go down, and it hit him high on the mask. He didn't move. It's lucky it hit him there, though. It was going in under the post, under the crossbar, and there's that shot. And I'm pretty sure Mike Vernon just got a piece of it off that right post, and then a good job by Vernon to poke the rebound away.
Now the draw coming up as Ron Sutter gets set. And he beat DeVries, or check that, Drury to the draw. As Rouse handles it and moves it ahead to Sutter. Gets it over the line, but lost it. Now Rouse gets it back and up for Stefan Matteau. Some good puck handling there by Bob Rouse on the Sharks' blue line. Here's Chris Drury. Gets it wide to Milan Hejduk. Check, but right to John Clem. He throws one wide of the net. Eric Messier trying to jam it back deep into the zone, and he does. In the corner, it's Tanguay. And he lost it. Matteau will just rifle it down the ice again, and the Sharks just protecting their lead as Patrick Waugh tried to fool everybody there by playing that puck. That's a set play as someone hangs around the near board center ice waiting on that.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, they were trying to catch San Jose on the change, and it didn't work.
Here's Nolan. From the corner to Danfus, and Vinny's shot hits a leg. Here's Greg DeVries back on defense for Colorado. Podine takes literally a hack at it. Brad Stewart, some nifty skating, but then he lost it, and Stefan Yahl fires it in. Sean Podine after it. He's up.
Giving them much of a chance. You see the numbers 0 for 3 tonight so far.
Sharks penalty killing on the year has kind of languished down around in the bottom third. Coming into tonight, ranked 22nd. Avalanche to Drury. He fires it in. It takes an odd carom off the metal brace and all the way back down to Patrick Waugh. Quickly, Daryl Sutter changes up the look on the penalty kill and gets Owen Nolan out there with Jeff Friesen. And we know they're shorthanded threat. And here's Friesen. Skates in, tried to get it back for Nolan. And now Patrick Waugh falls back onto the net and knocks it off. But Jeff Friesen, oh so close there to his third shorthanded goal of the year.
Well, he picked the pocket of Sandis Ozolinsh, and Ozolinsh known for turnovers in his own end, but he sees a lot of speed in his face, and it's Jeff Friesen. Watch Jeff Friesen come out of nowhere like he's been shot out of a cannon, and you see him go hard to the net. He ends up bumping Ozolinsh afterwards. It's Ozolinsh who, well, actually it's not Ozolinsh who ends up falling into Patrick Waugh. That's the way it looked from here. From that angle, though, it looked as if Patrick Waugh just kind of lost his balance after that near miss in front of the net. Maybe the stick of Friesen carried through and knocked him off balance.
Nolan fires it on target. Colorado's power play 0 for 3 so far, and they've only had one shot on goal with the man advantage. Here's Forsberg. Friesen takes a swing at him. Now over to Ozolinsh at the left point. He fires it wide as it came off a skate. Forsberg back to Drury. He'll fire it in. Bounces around, and Vernon got a pad on it. It's cleared down by Rathje.
Well, a good job by the D in front. Mike Vernon making the initial save. Didn't have to worry about the rebound. Marcus Ragnarsson got it down the ice.
And it's Ragnarsson again as he'll send it off the boards and down. 38 to go on the Colorado power play, and they don't have a shot yet on this try. Ozolinsh over the line. It would have put Tanguay offside had he touched it. Ralston moves it up for Ozolinsh. Over center, sends it in. Vernon slowing it down, and Gary Suter gets that just out over the line. And it's passed back to Waugh. Skula has his pocket pick. Ricci with a shot, and Patrick Waugh got a piece of that. Here's Reed. Ralston a shot. Vernon save. Ozolinsh rebound, and Vernon stopped that. And that is the first shot on this power play for Colorado. Or if it was still power play, it just ended, and it won't count as a power play shot. So they're 0 for 4 with one shot.
And how about the work of Nicholas Sundstrom again, almost setting up Ricci, identical to the first period, this time penalty killing. Nice pass out front to number 18.
Jeff Odgers, the former Shark captain, sending it in. Vernon wrists it off the boards, back down the wing. And it's out past center. Ron Stern pursuing, but DeVries quick to move that puck out. Controlled by Rathje, back there with his oh-so-familiar partner on defense, Marcus Ragnarsson. Their second game back together after the injury layoff for Ragnarsson, Rathje rather, that started Halloween night. Here's Mateau. Behind the net in front. A backhand try, and Waugh stopped that. And boy, there was some stick work going on in front of Patrick Waugh.
And that fourth line doing a great job in front of the net, swiping at pucks and swiping at bodies too. Ronnie Sutter doing a good job getting hold of the defenseman.
Stern pulls up, tried to give it to Marleau. Went by him, and now Drury with it for Colorado. Tanguay at center, trying to maneuver past Brad Stewart. He couldn't. Now he sends it in, and Suter's there for it.
Well, Brad Stewart has the goal tonight. He's good offensively. I think he's been excellent defensively a number of times one-on-one.
Here's a chance and a save by Vernon, and the rebound goes wide from Tanguay. Hayduk up the middle, tried to force that pass. It wasn't there. Back comes Suter to Marleau. Marleau over the blue line. Marleau shot, saved by Waugh, and then he runs into the Colorado netminder. And now the Avalanche players upset with Patrick Marleau.
Patty Marleau on the backhand, went upstairs, followed through, and ended up bumping into Pat. First 2 months, and now they'll see them 4 times in a little less than 2 months. So we'll be seeing a lot of these Avalanche over the next little while.
Sandis Ozolinsh trying to spring Peter Forsberg down the left wing, but that doesn't connect, and they'll try all over again from down in the San Jose zone. Well, I think you made a couple of good points about Owen Nolan last year and the playoff series against Colorado last year. You've got to look at it as a stepping stone for the hockey club, for Nolan as an individual, but the Sharks have got to remember and reflect back on what happened to them in that series and make sure that they use those lessons this year in the postseason.
Well, Owen Nolan definitely used that. You know, he could have been a little disappointed after that playoff series, just a goal and an assist and gotten down, but he used it to his advantage and did something about it. And hit the weights hard, and it has certainly paid off.
Certainly not inconceivable that they could meet again, perhaps in the first round. Colorado right now on top of their division, and of course the division winners get a seed. Going to be a real battle in the Pacific Division for the title and that seed to come out of the division. Of course, if you don't win the division, you can still have more points than but then they put it all together, finished 44, 28, and 10, and then went to the Final Four and only lost out to the Stanley Cup champion Dallas Stars in a 7th game.
Yeah, they pushed them right to the limit, and it wasn't turnaround. They started winless in their first 5 games, 0-4-1 to start last year.
Here's Rouse against Dingman in the corner. Puck comes to Hayduk. Now Drury tees it up, and Jeff Norton just got his stick in on that and deflected it out of play.
And another good defensive play by Jeff Norton as bodies continue to fly out there. Hayduk ends up paying the price after making the pass, and Chris Drury, Calder Trophy winner from last year and Hobey Baker winner before that. There's Hayduk. No penalty minutes this year. I guess you could consider him for the Lady Byng, the offensive numbers he's having. A couple other guys up there too. Pierre Turgeon, I believe, only has 2 minutes in penalties. Teemu Solani, another guy, not a lot of penalty minutes and pretty good offensive numbers.
Ricci wins the draw back to Jeff Norton. 11 minutes left in the 3rd period. Sharks right now with a 3-1 lead. Goals by Ricci, Nolan, and Stewart. Here's Dingman in front. Vernon with a brilliant save off Drury in front. It's still alive to Hayduk. Here's Milan Hayduk. Back to Dingman. He fires it through the goal crease again. And Skula can't hold the zone. But Mike Vernon just made his biggest stop of this game.
Absolutely. And he's hearing it from the hometown fans here at the Shark Tank. Excellent save right across his crease. That was off the giveaway in behind the Sharks net.
Here's Dingman up the middle of the ice again. Given a shove by Mateau. Steers it behind the net. But Bob Rouse is there for the Sharks and headmans it to Ron Stern. Stern to center for Ricci, on to Mateau. He'll dump it ahead as the Sharks change on the fly. Here's Waugh trying to take advantage of that change. Makes a nice pass to Podine. He fires it wide, and now Suter with it. He's checked off the puck by Yell. Now Podine tees it up. Blocked by Stewart. Stewart down on his knees, and he gets it away to Nicholas Sundstrom. That's a huge play for the rookie.
We talked about his defensive play tonight. It's been outstanding one-on-one, and they're blocking a big shot after the turnover again along the boards.
Here's a dangerous puck right up the middle, but Podine was too far away to make a play on it. And now it's back to Patrick Marleau with the teams changing up on the fly. Tony Granato steering that one off the glass down the ice. And we'll have a break with Big Company and the Stars out as well. Nolan versus Ozelinch and Forsberg. Got it all tonight. Here's Nolan with a steal. Bounces away and up toward the blue line. Now Forsberg leading a 3-on-2. Off a skate, and Rafty with a very alert play swept that puck clear. Here's Forsberg again. Back to Adam Foote. His shot wide of the net as Deadmarsh was looking for a tip. Sharks send it down the ice.
And those are the little things that those two defensemen do so well. Mike Rathje and Marcus Ragnarsson, they were outmanned. It was a 3-on-2. They're trying to deny the pass and make sure there's not a good shot. This is exactly what they do. And watch from overhead. You see the 3 black jerseys. They have a stride on the back checkers. They play their lanes perfectly. There, the first block pass. That was by Marcus Ragnarsson. Then the clear on the backhand by Mike Rathje. Colorado in a scoring opportunity, doesn't get a shot on net. Those two guys have done their job.
That's just great instincts, great defensive awareness.
And that comes from playing with each other so much. Obviously, last year, those two players paired together. They're very comfortable with each other. They don't have to talk a lot. They know the reads on plays. And that's why they're normally matched up against the opposition's #1 line.
Now Drury on the faceoff, gets it back over to Skula. He's worked over by Ron Stern. Skula, though, showing his strength, gets that puck away and back to Ozelinch. He tees one up. It goes off Ricci's skate. Up high. Now Drury with it. Tried to force it in. It hit Stewart's skate. Stern behind the net trying to move it out of there. The referee hops out of the way. Now Mateau on the boards working it to Ricci. And Mike Ricci with a nice job flips it down the ice.
Well, Daryl Sutter showing a lot of confidence in Stewart. He's got him out against this number 1/2 line of the Colorado Avalanche. Hayduk and Chris Drury out there together.
Tanguay sends it back to the defense. Stula moving it ahead quickly as Colorado need 2 to get even here. Down 3-1 with just over 8 minutes to go. Myers out on this checking line for the Sharks. Milan Hayduk, a blast and a blocker save for Vernon. Now out of the corner it comes to Drury. Drury trying to dangle into the net. And they fire a shot that's blocked by Vernon. And a big hit put on Tanguay down low by Andy Sutton as this one goes all the way down. Sutton trying to line up another Colorado player back there, Dave Reed, but he jumps out of the way. Now here's Stefan Yell, a snap shot, and Vernon will send that with his... Norton trying to get it over to Patrick Marleau, cut off by Stefan Yell. Yell trying to make a play out of the corner. Now it comes in front to him, tries to wheel around for a shot. Good job by Rouse to tie him up. Now it's back in front again. Reed can't get it for a clean shot. Tries to set up Yellow Falls. There's a blast right into Granato that he blocks. Tony a little slow to get up as Eric Messier got all of that. Now Reed tied up by Marleau. Reed still on the puck. Messier comes in, takes it from him. Eric Messier around the net. Poke check by Rouse. And Granato comes away with it. He's got a 2-on-1 with Sundstrom. Granato down the right side. Shot over the head of Patrick Waugh and up into the crowd. But another strong shift by the forwards and the defenseman back there to deny Colorado.
And that's what's going to happen. Colorado down 2 goals, have to open it up. A defenseman gets caught deep. It's Eric Messier who jumps in. San Jose takes advantage. Tony Granato on the 2-on-1, elects to shoot. Here you see the play deep. Messier was caught down low. Here you see him with the puck. Loses it. And Bob Rouse, see him getting his way now. He holds him up. He knows he's a defenseman. He can't get back into the play. You see the forward coming back. Actually does a good job getting back. There's no way Tony Granato could have passed that puck. Made the right decision. Took the shot. It gets deflected up over top with Patrick Waugh.
Now Danfus out there for the draw, but the Avs get control. DeVries checked by Friesen. And he turns it over to Danfus. Here's Adam Foote, arguably the top defenseman for the Colorado Avalanche. But right now, Colorado's got to worry about offense. They need goals. And DeVries will start from behind Patrick Waugh. Up to center ice. Forsberg tied up by Ragnarsson. And Peter Forsberg was not in on the only goal for Colorado. So far tonight, he's been shut down. And you go a long way to having success against them when you do that. Friesen a shot, and that was just tipped by Adam Foote as Jeff let go. Now Danfus digs it out of the corner. Sends it back for Stewart. Brad moves it back up the wing, but Colorado back in control again. Here's Yell up the middle for Dingman. Dingman gets a head of steam going. Sends it into the zone, but Stewart back there to collect it for the Sharks. Nice play at the line by Ozolinsh to keep that in. Now Dingman battling Suter in the corner. Centers it right in front, and Stewart's there again, playing a very solid game defensively, along with his big goal back in the second period. Some hay here at home on this stand that sees them play 7 out of 8 on home ice. They got a point Monday against Tampa, and they're under 5 minutes away from another 2 points here against Colorado. Brad Stewart gets it to Stefan Matteau. Now Patrick Waugh out of the net. Waugh never one who's shy to leave his net. Of course, it cost him earlier in this game. Here's a chance, and they score. Adam Foote had a clean look at net from right up the slot, and he rifled it past what must have been the screen, Mike Vernon. I didn't even see Vernon flinch.
Well, he was wide open, and he had all sorts of time, too. Colorado made San Jose's line, held up, waited for that fourth trailer, and it was Adam Foote You see the play here. They wait, they hesitate, they find the seam, and here comes Adam Foote. Plenty of time. Heads up, beats Mike Vernon. It looks like to the stick side, just inside that right post. But he was only about 25, 30 feet in front of Mike Vernon, and we let that go. And Adam Foote scores a huge goal for the Avalanche. It's a 3-2 hockey game.
Second goal of the year at 15:25, so hang on. Nothing is decided yet by any stretch. And here comes the Avs again. A shot saved by Vernon, and he covers it up. As right in front of him, Brian Ralston was trying to dig that thing out from under his pads.
And Ralston's got a pretty good argument. That puck wasn't quite covered up when the whistle was blown. Sandis Ozelich, another defenseman in deep. We'll see it from the reverse angle. Forsberg, good job at keeping it in. Here you see the attempt by Ralston. The follow-up, the puck's free, but the referee loses sight of it. Brian Ralston, the player picked up when Claude Lemieux went from Colorado to New Jersey.
Bob Hartley up on the bench, having a word with referee Steve Walkham about that last call. Of course, Hartley, from his angle, would have had a perfect look at the puck. That goal by Foote, assisted by Drury and Tanguay at 15:25 to bring Colorado to within one now. Here's the face-off. Controlled by Ralston. Now here comes Forsberg. Shot saved by Vernon. And that's two shifts in a row that right from the face-off, Steve, Colorado's had a scoring chance.
And that's one of the few times Forsberg has gotten away from Marcus Ragnarsson. You see Daryl Sutter trying to make some adjustments on the ice. Actually, he's waiting for Colorado to make the line change. He gets last change being home ice. I don't think they've changed any players. But Peter Forsberg spun away from Marcus Ragnarsson, got another pretty good shot off on Mike Vernon.
Now the face-offs become so critical, and another draw back to Ozelich. He'll come down the boards with it. Now it's back up the middle, and a shot goes wide. Vernon trying to steer that out of trouble to Rathke. They tie up on the near side. Forsberg on the puck. Here's Forsberg from the near boards. Still moving it. Owen Nolan falls, then Forsberg does too. And coming out with it is Vinny Damphousse, and he'll just send it down the ice.
Well, the Sharks spending just a little too much time in their own zone right now, currently being outshot 12-5 here in this third period.
And it's the first time all night Colorado's led on the shot clock, out shooting San Jose 30-28. And we'll have another face-off down in the Shark zone right now with 3.5 minutes left in the third.
Well, sometimes you can see a team out-shooting you in a period, especially when you have a 2-goal lead. Daryl Sutter and the Sharks in the prevent defense, just dumping pucks out, dumping pucks deep. But they've really been playing a little too much time inside their own blue line. Normally in a prevent defense, you try and protect that blue line. Colorado doing a good job of penetrating the blue line and really setting up in San Jose's zone.
Jeff Friesen showing the battle scars of an incident earlier in the game that sent Peter Forsberg to the penalty box for a 4-minute high sticking penalty. And it was on that 4-minute penalty that the Sharks got their first goal. Here's Jeff Norton. And he'll flip one ahead through center ice. Patrick Marleau in pursuit. And he gets to it and sends it behind the Colorado net. And a penalty to the Sharks, Tony Granato, for tripping up Milan Hajduk. And now the door opens a little wider for Colorado as they will get a power play.
Wow, 3 minutes, 18 seconds to go in this third period. Tony Granato takes a penalty. It was inadvertent, but it was 200 feet away from his own net. Milan Hajduk, the man he tripped. Hajduk had lined up as a defenseman deep in San Jose's zone. They use him for a slap shot. That's why he's one of the first guys back, trying to jump on this loose puck. And you see Tony Granato just trying to get a stick on him. I think Hajduk, well, I thought he stepped on his stick. He didn't. Had his leg knocked by Tony Granato. He goes down. The referee makes the right call. No argument from Granato. So the penalty killers for San Jose, who have done an excellent job so far tonight, are really going to be tested here late in the game.
tripping the call at 16:42. Colorado 0 for 4 tonight on the power play. So here we go. Avalanche gets it to center. Here's Hayduk. Fires it around. Deadmarsh waiting on it, but Rathje got a stick on it. Here's Drury trying to get it set up. Big hit by Ragnarsson in the corner. Now Rathje after Hayduk, and it's cleared out.
And that's what Rathje does so well. Eliminates people. He eliminated Hayduk. They got on the loose puck, and they got it out of danger.
Avalanche leading the rush again. And Drury misfires. Here's Nolan coming down the wing, trying to power his way by Drury. Nolan still after the puck, and he shoves it behind the Colorado net as the crowd wanted a penalty on Drury there for upending Nolan.
Drury did a pretty good job, though. Kept his legs moving, and at the last second held up both arms like he wasn't touching Nolan.
Here's Avalanche, cross ice, now enters the zone. Gives to Tanguay, back to Forsberg. Forsberg from the corner. Alex Tanguay working the half boards, back to Forsberg. Forsberg to the side, and the shot. I don't know if Vernon stopped through to hit the post, but a great chance there for Colorado. Here's Ralston, a blast. That's high. Comes off the glass, right back down. Pass intended for Deadmarsh, tipped away. Now Ralston sending it in from the point. Here's Norton. Cross ice and cleared out by Vinny Danfus with 26 left on the power play.
That last save by Vernon. What a read from behind the net.
Here's Forsberg. In front. And from the draw, it comes all the way back to the Colorado line. Even though they won that faceoff, no one was over on the left point. Here's Avalanche, and he has to pull back to shake off Danfus. Now up to center ice comes Hayduk. He turns around. Owen Nolan has an empty net. Here comes Nolan with Granato. Owen scores!
Well, Owen Nolan has been everything offensively for San Jose tonight. Mike Vernon doing an excellent job between the pipes. And Tony Granato, what an unselfish play here, coming out of the penalty box. Doesn't want to force Owen Nolan to pass on the puck, so he turns backwards, looking to block anyone trying to come in and dive. And he scores the goal.
And it is our Sprint PCS play of the game. Watch it again.
Well, he forces the turnover. This will be an unassisted goal. You see him strike the puck there on the left side of the screen. Tony Granato earlier had skated backwards to make sure no one could get in his way. And Owen told Nolan his 42nd career 2-goal game.
Second straight, as he had 2 against the Lightning on Monday night as well. And he opens up a 2-goal lead over Jágr in the scoring race. Under a minute left now, and Nolan's unassisted goal ought to be enough. Here's Granato coming ahead. And we get an offside play at the blue line. It is, by the way, Patrick Waugh back in goal for Colorado for what it's worth. But Owen Nolan living up to our pregame billing, certainly, and he just continued the role that he was on Monday night, Steve.
Oh, he certainly did. Leading not only in the goal department, too, but hitting, leading by example on the ice, and they're leading the league now in goals. What he does is so amazing because, you know, teams key on him. This line has scored more than 46% of the Sharks' goals this year. You know where the success is coming from, and he still can't be stopped.
You'll get another chance to see him Friday night. We'll be right back here with the Sharks and their first ever game against the Atlanta Thrashers. All of it live here on Fox Sports Net as Alex Tanguay is offside. 2-line pass as they nab him up at center ice. And boy, did Mike Vernon make some huge saves in this hockey game. You know, the score is a little deceiving because if Vernon doesn't stand on his head, and a couple of times in this third period, we could be in a tie game right now heading to overtime at the least.
Well, 13 saves alone in this third period. He did allow a goal. Not much he could have done on it, really. That blast from Adam Foote. And yeah, he is definitely a big part of this win tonight. There were some breakdowns defensively, but when there were, Mike Vernon was there to shut the door.
You know, his best might have been off Deadmarsh a couple of minutes ago, that backdoor play. Not so much for the save, but for the read that led up to the save. He didn't buy into Forsberg wrapping around or coming all the way around. He had an idea that Forsberg was going to feed it back.
And that's the key to Mike Vernon's game. He's so relaxed, even in tight situations. The score's 3-2 late in the third period. Some goaltenders might be trying to anticipate. Mike Vernon, very patient, waited for the read, and he made the right one.
Back to center ice as we're under half a minute left, and Sharks on their way to victory number 16 of this season. Here in the first few days of December, Nolan a chance for a hat trick on a scramble at the side of the net. Here's Danfus to Nolan again. He's hauled down in front, and that's going to be the hockey game, folks.